Shining star.
Right. 9 June 2026. Right, guys, I have an update regarding what the army generals are now agreeing on and what they proposed. Yeah, remember that the meeting that we already discussed, what it means. I think right now, I think you must just be prepared because there's a lot of development. Please tune in because we are going to be giving you or updating you with the information of what is currently happening. And this information that I'm telling you is backed by information that is on the public domain. If you didn't come across it, this is our job to come and show you where the information is. Right. So the army generals have agreed that General Chiwenga become the next president. But then remember that the interest of the army is to make sure that the interest of ZANU-PF is met. So remember, back in 2017, the army realized that what was happening, in ZANU-PF was no longer good for them. So they intervened to actually make sure that they solve that problem. And again, in this 2026, we are back at where we were in 2017. And the army is now advising Emmerson Mnangagwa to go back to the agreement of 2017, which dictated that General Chiwenga will become the next president. And at some point, I think most of you are not aware of this Constitution Amendment Bill number 2 of 2021, in which Emmerson Mnangagwa already removed the chance for General Chiwenga to become the next president. Remember this issue of the running mate that was removed in Cape 2. This issue was already a plan that Emmerson Mnangagwa hedged to make sure that General Chiwenga doesn't run. Remember, on this under the 2013 Constitution, the president and the vice president will be voted for together or concurrently. If you remember, or this system is used everywhere else in SADC, and also it's used in the United States. You know that when you see a campaign happening in the United States, like the previous one, where Donald Trump was campaigning together with his vice president J.D. Vance, so you will see the campaign will be like Trump Vance. So what it means is that it's the president and his running mate who is the vice president. This actually makes it the president becomes someone, the vice president becomes someone who is electable because he has been voted for by the by the general public. So Emmerson Mnangagwa removed that because the reason why he removed it is because it wouldn't make sense for him to have a running mate, most probably getting more votes than him as the president. So he didn't want that to happen. And they also removed it because they feared that it created what we call two centers of power. One in which today would be having maybe General Chiwenga having more votes than Emmerson Mnangagwa, which could have been also the case. That's why you see he didn't want to have that. Right. Now, to understand exactly what is going on, I will take you to this tweet in which the Newswalks have written. They say that amid the political tensions, as retired army commanders and some war veterans sit with the anger at President Emmerson Mnangagwa for purportedly betraying their November 2017 coup mission when they ousted the late former President Robert Mugabe. The president, over the weekend, made security ministers and the top services chiefs under the Joint Operation Command rubric to restore a shaken confidence and show his rivals, led by Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, a retired military general, that he has a full backing of the military, a joke member has told the Newswalk. So the army remains the main arbiter and power broker in Zimbabwe, despite current attempts to curtail the influence through constitutional amendments. The meeting at the president's pre-camp farm in Kwekwe, Midlands, where important decisions are made, came amid agitation among Army retired commanders and war veterans protesting Mnangagwa's 2030 political project and their exclusion from the feeding trough after the coup. The retired generals and the war veterans aligned with Chiwenga have heavily resisted the constitutional changes. They are leveraging litigation to prove that an incumbent president cannot legally benefit from a term extension. A recent constitutional court hearing into war veterans' application challenging Mnangagwa 2030 political agenda ended with a reserved judgment. More court cases have been filed. Apart from not getting much from the coup spoils, the generals, most of whom were allies of the former army commander Solomon Juru, are agitated as they now support Chiwenga in a bid to get a second bite of the cherry. Those who attended the meetings at Mnangagwa's farm included Defense Minister Opan Chinguru Kashiri, State Security Minister Love Moma Tuke, Home Affairs Minister Kazembe Kazembe, Zimbabwe Defense Forces Commander General Emmanuel Matatu, Zimbabwe National Army Commander Lieutenant General Walter Tafumanei, Air Force of Zimbabwe Air Marshal Jacob Mzwede, and others. A JOC member who attended the meeting said officially the president was hosting ministers and top state security service chiefs for a farm tour to see ongoing agricultural activities and review Zimbabwe's drive towards food security. It was presented as a normal farm visit, just like many others before it. But our intelligence clearly shows that it was a political gathering. Unofficially, it was a major and critical meeting to show solidarity, power, force, and send a message to our former colleagues led by retired Air Marshal Henry Mchena. They also say it was about exploring rural industrialization and strengthening the working relationship between the commander-in-chief and the nation's security leadership. As we now know, President Mnangagwa met with Mchena and 8 other retired generals, military generals, and senior civil servants on May 18 and 19 to discuss the current political and security situation around the country in the context of Constitution Amendment Bill number 3, the 2030 agenda, and presidential term extensions. The meeting was tense and did not end well. Mnangagwa told the generals, let the chips fall away, they may, whoever wins, wins. Mchena confirmed this in public. This means Mnangagwa is on collision course with the retired generals. The main vulnerability Mnangagwa currently has is the ongoing succession infighting associated internal strife and factionalism. Chiwenga maintains immense historical and current loyalties among the mid to lower ranks of the military and retains the critical support of Liberation War veterans. While Chiwenga's leverage remains his deep military roots and influence, he has been largely neutralized through changing the army command and the element and patronage, offering commanders incentives, house, cars, and money. Although Chiwenga's presidential ambition faces major setbacks, it has not been entirely thwarted. With this political fate currently hinging on a high-stakes succession battle within the ruling party ZANU-PF. Right, you can see there at Pre-Camp Farm the pictures that we have already shown you. Right, you can see, guys, where this story is going. And it's all explosives.